You either die the hero or live long enough to become Harmless Phosphorescence! Hello, everybody. Mount the curb. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and do I really look like a guy with a plan?
If you're good at something, never do it for free. That's why I do this podcast. I'm Brian Lesh.
I'm Alaric Weber, the hero you neither deserve nor need.
And this is Harmless Phosphorescence. I really had to think about that, Brian. I was like, wait a minute. Is he not good at the podcast, or is it a joke about the podcast not paying? Or so many levels.
No, he's doing it for free, so I think he's indicating.
I'm bad at this.
As we all are. Thanks, listeners, for joining us on Harmless Phosphorescence, the podcast.
Well, and Al has a scale, because we don't deserve. But what do we do to be able to?
Yeah. The deserve and need thing. I don't know. I have a lot to say about that. Anyways, this is the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the source material and the production, and then we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Join the ranks. Head over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus content there. We got like Star Wars stuff. We do different movies every month, non-superhero movies. We just did Gremlins 2. That'll be up in our podcast feed soon. And next month we're doing 1973 is the year, so that's going to be an interesting one. You can vote for that soon on the Twitters and Facebooks. Patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. $1 a month is all you need to get going on all that bonus content. This week, however, on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching The Dark Knight.
Where do we begin? A year ago, these cops and lawyers wouldn't dare cross any of you. I mean, what happened?
So what are you proposing?
It's simple. Kill the Batman. Here's my card.
Bruce, this is Harvey Dent.
Rachel's told me everything about you.
I certainly hope not. You once told me that we'd be together. Did you mean it?
Bruce, don't make me your only hope for a normal life.
You're Alfred, right?
That's right, sir.
Any psychotic ex-boyfriends I should be aware of?
Oh, you have no idea.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're tonight's entertainment. Well, hello, beautiful. You look nervous.
I've seen now what would have to become to stop men like him.
The night is darkest just before the dawn. And I promise you, the dawn is coming.
And here we go. Come on. This city deserves a better class of criminal. I'm gonna give it to him. No! You'll see. I'll show you.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Will you be wanting the back pod, sir?
Middle of the day, Alfred? Not very subtle.
The Lamborghini, then.
Much more subtle.
Oh, Hans Zimmer. The Dark Knight.
That trailer shows everything in the movie without telling us what happens whatsoever in the movie.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is tough to
That's
do.
a really good trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys remember the teaser trailer for that with just we didn't even get to really see the Joker. We just heard him like, why so serious?
Where do they get a load of me?
Yeah.
The marketing for this movie was incredible. I remember being so excited.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember another trailer where it was like mostly the Joker, shots of him in the cell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh yeah.
no
That's right.
no prints, no name, blah, all that jazz.
Yeah.
Anyway, there were probably a ton of trailers for this.
Yeah, there was at least 5 or 6 different trailers, I'm sure. This was released July 18th, 2008. It had a running time of 152 minutes. It cost $185 million, and it took in $1.005 billion. Billion.
Wow.
It's our first billionaire on the on Harmless Phosphorescence.
Wow.
We had a couple 800, 900 millioners, but this one hit $1 billion. Yeah, it was a big deal.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a game changer. And then, Heath Ledger's, well, okay, we'll get into all that later. But first, guys, let's play the box office top 10 game. This is the game where I will describe every movie from the week of July 18th, 2008, using only the box office mojo descriptions of that movie. Obviously, Dark Knight opened at number 1, so I'm not going to have the guys guess what that is. But they will be guessing what movies we're talking about. Several of these we have talked about before, because there's a lot of movies that have been in 2008. Like, a lot. So... coming in at number 10 this week, a large rodent-like creature does kicks.
Those kicks.
Does kicks.
What?
A large rodent-like creature.
Does kicks. I'm describing it this way because it's been on like 4 episodes already.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Kung Fu Panda?
Yes, Kung Fu Panda.
A rodent?
Rodent,
Well,
yeah.
rodent-like.
They're in the raccoon.
I don't-
It's not a rodent.
Yeah.
But they're in the raccoon family.
Whatever.
Wait, what? Pandas are in the raccoon family?
They're not bears.
Yeah.
I knew they're not bears, but they're closer.
They gotta be something like. I thought they were in the dolphin family.
Yeah.
Yeah, raccoons. You look at them,
Pangolin family or
their faces
something.
are similar. The
Weird.
noses aren't as pointy, but they're
wearing
shifty eyes.
So yeah, you get a Kung Fu point, Josh. At number 9, Steve Carell doing funny stuff.
Get
Get
smart.
short.
Get-
Smart.
Get
short.
Get short.
Short.
Get smart.
That's it.
Get short.
That's a different movie, and I kind of want to see it.
Brian gets a smart point. Al gets a short point. Coming in at number 8.
It could be like a basketball player who really wants to be a racehorse jockey.
Yeah.
So he's got to get short.
Oh my God. Cuts his legs off and puts shoes on the nubs.
Magic. Through magic.
No, he cuts his legs off and puts shoes on the nubs like Dorf.
Like Brad Dorf. What's his name?
Brad Dorf. Stephen Dorf.
No, Steven
Steven
Dorf.
Dorf? Yeah. Who's Brad Dorf?
His brother. Less talented brother. I was thinking Brad Dorf. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, coming in.
I had to do a real quick fact check. The panda bear is of the family Ursidae, so they are bears.
Huh.
Sorry, viewers or listeners. Or
Fuck
both.
that.
And that is our panda facts.
I don't believe.
Coming in.
Sounds the panda.
Why were we told? Okay.
Coming
sorry,
in at
go
number
ahead.
8 this week. I'm just going to read this because no one's guessed it any week. It's been on here like 5 times and no one's ever guessed this movie by the description.
All right.
A frustrated office worker learns that he is the son of a professional assassin and that he shares his father's superhuman killing abilities.
Wanted.
Al finally remembered the name. He wanted that point and he got it.
Just 1 point?
Yeah, just one.
I mean, it has been 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets 1 point. Everyone gets 1 point this week. 1 point per movie. They changed up the whole exchange rate. Coming in at number 7. Oh,
I'm sorry. I have an addendum. Red panda, often called lesser pandas, are now put in the raccoon family. Where raccoons and bears families are closely related.
Lesser pandas.
Lesser pandas.
Children
so
of
the big white and black ones, I guess, are bears.
Children of a lesser panda.
I feel lied to for a long time. Because I didn't make that up, I promise.
Yeah, red pandas. Are those even related to regular pandas? They just look like
they're lesser.
Lesser pandas.
They have to go in through the back door.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, the panda hierarchy is a strange thing.
Yeah, it's like wolves and dire wolves, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they've tweaked panda classification recently based on
That's
these
horseshit, man. We got to get to the bottom of this.
Wait,
Josh,
they changed pandas?
Well, because like the four pandas left, went and lobbied.
Is that like changing Coke? Like changing Coke to New Coke? They changed them to new pandas.
Check out our new show.
New
Harmless Animal
DNA mapping. Yeah.
Opening this week at number 7. 3 chimps are sent into space to explore the possibility of alien life when an unmanned space shuttle crash lands on an uncharted planet.
It's animated. I feel like I remember.
Is this what's his name? Planet of the Apes?
No. No. It's called Space Chimps.
I knew it was.
I was gonna guess Space Chimps.
I was gonna guess Time Chimps. Way better movie.
I was gonna guess Space Pandas.
I was gonna
red or greater or lesser pandas.
Checks in.
Where are chimps in the panda hierarchy?
The rulers, the ruthless leaders.
Number 6. The robot movie.
Wall-E, still.
Yeah, still. Wall-E. It's never leaving. No points for that. Because I
don't deserve any.
No, none of us do.
I didn't call him by his full name. Wall Engelbert.
That's what the E stands for.
I'm sorry to keep holding it up. We have important business.
Number 5. A prince starts a rebellion in order to rule the earth, and our hero and his team must stop him.
Hellboy.
You got it. Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. That was last week's episode. Number 4. A guy goes to the middle of the planet.
Journey to the center of the earth.
Yes, Al. And you get to journey to the center of that point.
One molten point.
Yes. Number 3. Will Smith. That's all.
Hancock.
Will Smith is doing fine. Generalissimo Francisco Franco.
There was 100% a point in his career where that's really all you needed to know about the movie. Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. Who's bankable?
Yeah. It's funny Hancock's above Hellboy.
Hellboy had a serious drop off, remember?
Yeah.
This was probably the last week it was in the 10.
Yeah. Number 2, opening this week. The story of a bride-to-be trying to find her real father.
Shrek 3.
No.
Damn.
No, it is not a Shrek.
No, they were already married at this.
I love hearing Shrek. Is it, hasn't Al guessed it before? Or did you say it opened this week?
It opened this week. This is the first week. It opened...
I thought it was Sex and the City.
No, that one's out. That one's out of the top 10 now.
Yeah, because that was at a similar like.
But this is 100%
comfort of bride.
Yeah, this is 100% the same demographic.
Oh, always.
Well, I mean, it's not a movie for teenagers about a bride to be.
It's based on a hit musical, a hit Broadway musical.
Oh, Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia! You get point to Mia.
Oh, wow. I guess
You get a you get a dancing point.
that almost made $1 billion, didn't it? Or maybe just because there were like 14 of those movies.
It was hella popular.
It made $609 million. Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Waterloo. Okay.
And number 1, when the menace known as the Joker wreaks havoc and chaos on the people of Gotham, Batman must accept one of the greatest psychological and physical tests of his ability to fight injustice.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Kit Kitteridge, an American girl in London.
Kit Kitteridge, an American werewolf in London.
Only an American girl can.
Because she was an American girl. She was. And that is the box office top 10. That brings us to the comics back story. We have discussed all of these characters previously. Al, is there anything new that you have to tell us about?
No, not really. The main ones we've all discussed at length. I just wanted to throw out a quick reminder to our listeners about Sal Maroni. He was the mob boss who threw acid in the face of Harvey Dent during a court trial, resulting in Dent going insane and adopting the Two-Face persona.
Huh. And if we remember from the Tommy Lee Jones version, Batman is dressed as Batman sitting in the gallery of the trial.
Yeah. It's really fortuitous that there were so many symbolic Two-Face things for Harvey Dent, because otherwise he would have had to have come up with like an entirely different persona. But everything just kind of fell into place. He had the Two-Face coin, you know.
Mm-hmm.
His nickname from IA
was Harvey Two-Face. Yeah, it was a really fortuitous series of events that led to him being Two-Face.
So, Al, did Maroni work for Falcone, or were they rivals?
I think he worked for Falcone.
I thought so too. Well, from Gotham,
I could be wrong.
Cool.
I think Maroni was always trying to get to the top of the family.
Yeah, you know, those Italians, they got to recreate Caesar every chance they get.
All right, so
because Falcone died in the first one, right, or went insane thanks to Scarecrow.
Yes, in the first movie, he's in Arkham now.
Yep. So Maroni was the heir apparent. Okay, cool.
All right, so this movie once again was directed by Christopher Nolan, written by Christopher and Jonathan Nolan. It was starring once again
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yes. Christian Bale is Batman, Bruce Wayne, Michael Caine's back as Alfred Pennyworth. This time we have Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Wow.
Yeah, so there were a number of people expressing interest in playing the Joker around this time. Paul Bettany, Adrian Brody, Steve Carell, Robin Williams, all apparently tried to become involved or express
Robin Williams, that's interesting. Yeah. Do we remember from 89 Batman? They just used him without permission, touting that he might be the Joker.
Yeah, exactly. But Heath Ledger won the role. Do you guys remember how controversial that was at the time?
Yeah, well, because he was famous for 10 Things I Hate About You.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible film, by the way. Just going to say that out loud.
It's The Taming of the Shrew. It was that weird. It was that weird thing in the 90s where they remade Shakespeare as teen movies. Yeah,
I think it's the best one out of that whole field of Shakespearean remakes. I love that movie. I could watch that 1,000 times.
I saw that in the theater.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie, and it's a comedy, which he was just as brilliant at. But yeah, there was a lot of heavy-handed versions too, the Baz Luhrmann and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Like Shakespeare in Love.
Well, that was they cut that.
Fuck that movie. Fuck that movie. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You. He was Australian. 10 Things I Hate About You was kind of his big breakout role. Then he was in The Patriot, starring as Mel Gibson's son. A Knight's Tale. He was in that with Paul Bettany.
That was a big one.
Paul Bettany and what's his face from Firefly?
Oh, Nathan Fillion?
No, it wasn't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he wasn't in A Knight's Tale. What?
Heath Ledger was in A Knight's Tale.
I know Heath Ledger was, but was it Alan Tudyk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Alan Tudyk.
Yes, yes, he was.
He was the page.
The man with 2 phalluses, yes. Heath Ledger was in Monsters Ball, Lords of Dogtown, Brokeback Mountain was a big one. Yeah.
That was the movie just prior to this, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
that he won an Oscar for it.
Did he win an
2005?
It was 2 years earlier. He was in Candy in between, which I don't even remember that movie. That's the movie where the Joker and what's his face?
Donnie Darko?
Donnie Darko, yes. I wanted to say Mephisto too. Who was he in Spiderman?
Oh, Mysterio.
Mysterio.
Yeah, where Joker and Mysterio make out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and directed by Ang Lee, who's like, this is Bruce once he's calmed down and, he's chilling in the mountains, not hulking out, except when,
Which, he has such incredible dramatic chops, Heath Ledger.
Yeah, out of the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was,
something completely different than other things that he had made. But I mean, that movie is heart-wrenching.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it's cliche to say, but he had an intensity. It's rare. It does happen, but it's rare a young actor like that just bursts on the scene. I think of DiCaprio in many ways, where it's just like he seems really young. Holy shit, he acts better than most of these 30-year veterans. I liked him right away.
There were stories that on the set, that Gary Oldman was like, "Are you seeing what this kid's doing? This guy's amazing."
And that's Gary Oldman.
Yeah, that's Gary Oldman. Yeah.
And, it's a movie with a lot of good performances. Honestly, it really is. But Heath is just captivating.
Yeah.
From his, it's insane. I'll try to be concise and articulate.
There are so many moments. And, I mean, honestly, he deserves all the praise. But there are moments where he's literally just sucking his teeth in this movie. Mm-hmm. That you cannot look away from him. He's just making weird sounds and body movements,
and a lot of sighs, and a lot of like rolling his eyes. Like he doesn't freak out. Michael Jai White is totally giving him shit, and he just gives a look, just a distasteful look, instead of pounding and exploding and shooting.
He's like a teenage girl. In a lot of ways, like just looking through his hair.
Yeah.
Like long stares. Yeah.
Well, and just some of his reactions are like, I love them so much. Just the way he'll say yes when someone like when, or when he goes to sit down with Harvey Dent in the hospital room, and he just says hi, and just the way he says hi is so amazing.
And takes off the wig.
Does the teeth thing. It's like, I know you're upset with me. It's like, or in the first meeting, do you think you can just take our money and blah blah blah? And he's like, yeah.
Exactly.
Like, what's the problem?
Flippant.
Like, that's exactly the plan I wrote down in crayon.
Have you
on the magic trick? Like, I'm going to do a magic trick. I'm like, what the fuck are you even on about?
Cinematically, I was blown away.
Yeah.
That was a kind of gore that was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But very Joker. All right. Yep.
Have you guys seen the Tom Waits video? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I guess not.
I'm going to share this video. This will be for our live streamers too. Just for a minute. Then we'll come back here.
Is it Heath Ledger playing Tom Waits?
One of the newest singing phenomena is over.
Here, I'm going to.
If not, wait, I'll tell you what. In the meantime, here. You can use this place, all right? Just get it in there. How, hang on. Are you all right?
Yes, just
Oh,
fine, thank
I just
you.
want to check until you're settled in, that's all.
All right, let me get comfortable here.
Okay. How long? Nice shot. Here it is. Eddie. It's okay. Story might. We all miss once in a while. How long have you been here in Australia now?
I got here last night. I was on the plane from Paris for about 22 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fascinating flight.
That is
Wow.
that is the video that Heath Ledger based the character of the Joker off of.
It's uncanny.
It is. the sinister jester. You know, Tom's having sort of a good time being so wacky.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's clearly
So quiet.
super fucked up. Like,
Yeah, that's a given. Yeah, that's granted, but you still behave in a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I was right. Uncanny.
Yeah. He was basically doing a Tom Waits coked out of his mind from 1978 on Australian TV impression.
Yeah. Wow. That's why Gary Oldman said what he said. You know, there's one thing to the method, but there's another thing to just researching the fuck out of anything and everything and making something.
Yeah, crafting it out of nothing.
Right. Like, I'm a bank robber, so I'm going to pretend to be a bank robber for 3 months until we shoot. It's like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn what your character's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Check things out.
So, all right. Heath Ledger, of course, passed away on January 22nd, 2008, about 6 months before this movie came out. He was found by his masseuse, and she called... When she found his body, she called Mary Kate Olsen.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's rumor that he got a lot of those prescription drugs from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they were just Xanax and pain pills and stuff, but yeah.
Well, a lot of diazepam.
Yep. That's a benzo.
Yeah. Oxycodone, hydrocodone, temazepam, alprazolam, and doxylamine. I don't know.
So that's 3 different benzos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 3, and 2 opiates.
And he basically just stopped breathing.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Slows everything down.
Yep.
Yeah, your heart stops beating and nothing else continues to work.
Yep.
It does what it's supposed to do, but you take too much, it does it too well.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a shame.
Oh, God.
To say the least.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
We could have seen a lot more.
Well, and not to get too deep into the mental health aspect of playing the Joker, there was a lot said about him, kind of losing touch with himself because he played this role so deeply.
And I bet it leaves a stain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike Jared Leto, who was peeing in cups and pooping on people and doing all kinds of wacky shit on set. He was just living in that mind state of just Tom Waits high on coke.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking I don't know, Jared Leto. He's just doing a bit the whole time. He just wouldn't stop doing the bit. Yeah.
Like I said, he's a music video version of the Joker.
We live in a society. All right. So, Gary Oldman is back as James Gordon. Aaron Eckhart joins us as Harvey Dent. Oh, Tommy Lee Jones's version compared to this is it's hard to believe it's the same character. Aaron Eckhart is known. He's one of those guys that was in a ton of stuff, but never became an A-lister for the longest time. He was in The Company of Men, Nurse Betty, The Core, Aaron Brockovich, Paycheck, The Pledge, I, Frankenstein. So, he's good.
Yeah. He's a good Harvey Dent.
Yeah, he was definitely a good Harvey Dent. Let's see. We have Maggie Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal. Soft G. Yeah. Maggie Gyllenhaal taking over for Katie Holmes as Rachel Dawes. It wasn't until like the second or third time I watched this movie that I realized she was playing the same character as Katie Holmes.
But much, much better. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
She's a much better actress.
She is in general better actress.
But she brought some depth.
Mm-hmm.
Katie was just his friend growing up.
Yeah, exactly. Maggie Gyllenhaal from Donnie Darko, where she was with her brother, playing that movie.
Do we know why this role was recast? I assume Tom Cruise.
Katie Holmes basically just didn't want to come back.
Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, and then she went into obscurity.
Yeah,
because of the.
She was. Adaptation, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, Mona Lisa Smile, Secretary. She was in World Trade Center.
Dude, she did a BBC series. I think it was originally a BBC series, but called The Honorable Woman, where she becomes a member of the House of Lords, and it is incredible. It is an incredible show. It is by far the most intense performance I've ever seen from her.
Wow, God, wow, she hasn't. Cool. That's theater. Okay, yeah. She was in The Deuce. She's been in The Deuce these last couple of years.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see. We've got Morgan Freeman back as Lucius Fox. Monique. Then we're getting into the lesser known people: Monique Gabriella Kernan, Ron Dean, Nestor Carbonell, Ing Chin Han as Lau, Eric Roberts as Maroney, Richie Coster as the Chechen mafia boss, Anthony Michael Hall as the cable news guy. That was interesting. Melinda McGraw as Barbara Gordon, Gordon's wife. Michael Jai White as Gamble, the mafia guy. And let's see, Tiny Lister as the prison inmate. There's so many people. Cillian Murphy was back as the Scarecrow. Dwight Yoakam was approached to play play a role in this, but he turned it down. That's so weird. Dwight Yoakam's like, no, I got a lot going on.
Fat man, who's heard of him?
Yeah. He did it. Instead, he decided to focus on his album, Dwight Sings Buck, which is
Buck Owens.
Yes, a series of Buck Owens covers. Senator Patrick Leahy.
Pat Leahy.
He's a huge Batman fan. He's been in several Batman movies.
Who was he in this?
5.
He was the gala guest that told the Joker that they weren't afraid of him.
He's the first recipient of the knife in the mouth.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool that a senator is getting a knife in his mouth from the Joker in a movie.
Hell yeah.
This movie has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. And because of that, I decided that I was going to read us a number of Dark Knight 1-star reviews to see what they had to say.
See what they didn't like about it?
What they didn't like. Yeah.
Melody Z writes, the film made me want to throw up, and not in the good way.
I have yet to find the good way.
Right. Heath Ledger is literally too good as the Joker to bear watching. Some people Some people
so good you can't watch it.
Yeah, he's so good that it makes the movie bad.
What a life to live.
Some people just want to watch the world burn, and those people are usually fans of Batman movies.
No, okay. I'm at least halfway with that guy.
Yeah.
Seifel M writes, it was not what I expected.
What did he expect?
He expected Heath Ledger to have a mustache that they painted white over.
Everything to be labeled.
Yeah, exactly.
There were no bat labels anywhere. What the hell is this movie?
Anonymous writes, sick, saddening. Could have been a good movie if not so disgusting.
Huh.
Like it was too gory for somebody.
Right, which it wasn't. There wasn't a lot of blood. But also, it seems like these people are saying that the Joker turned them off. They wanted a softer Joker.
I don't know. Maybe. Antonio Z writes, if you are a Batman fan, then you know the movie is regular.
As opposed to irregular?
I guess.
Yeah.
And I would like to introduce
groin-grabbingly
you gentlemen to my new favorite Rotten Tomatoes reviewer. His name is Brendan Glacane. And he wrote of The Dark Knight, Nolan burgers. Nothing but Nolan burgers. Some call it feces. Some call it poop. Some call it shit. Some call it crap. Some call it stool. I call it Nolan burgers. That's all this movie is. Fetid Nolan burgers. In truth, every Chris Nolan movie is not but Nolan burgers. The acting in this movie is Nolan burgers. Heath Ledger's performance in particular is just rotten Nolan burgers. Christian Bale's Batman voice is just brown, reeking Nolan burgers. The story is just wannabe intellectual Nolan burgers, crawling with maggots and swarming with flies. This is truly one of the most overrated movies of all time. There's a scene in this movie that pretty much sums up the whole movie for me. It's the scene where Joker calls Rachel Dawes beautiful. Anyone with eyes can see she's ugly. So many people have touted this movie as the greatest movie of all time. But anyone with a brain can tell that this movie is just a putrid Nolan burger. So many people think Chris Nolan is an amazing director, but anyone with a brain can see that he himself is just a big stinking pile of Nolan burgers. Yours truly, Brandon Glacane.
Is that Steven Spielberg's pseudonym? It's like,
yeah,
like who the
he's
hell?
trolling.
I would like to read you Brandon Glacane's,
we got more
Nolan burgers.
Brandon Glacane's
review Nolan burgers
for Inception. Nolan burgers, not but Nolan burgers. Some call it feces. It is also known as dung, poop, shit, excrement, stool, crap. I call it Nolan burgers.
He's just showing off his
I would like to now read you his review for The Dark Knight Rises. Nolan burgers, nothing but Nolan burgers. Some call it feces, some call it dung, some call it excrement.
Some call it a sling blade.
I would now like to read you.
I'm sensing a trend here.
Yeah, I'm glad it's a short movie.
Is there one that he likes?
Yes, yes. I'll get there.
Find some positive
So
praise.
he gave a 1-star review to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He gave a 1-star review to Michael Moore Hates America. He gave a 1-star review to Obama's America. He gave a 1-star review to Hillary's America.
Are those Dinesh D'Souza movies?
Why does he watch that show?
He gave a 1-star review to Infinity War. He gave 2.5 stars to Marvel's The Avengers. 3 stars to Wind River. 1 star to Logan. Do you like your superheroes old, weak, lame, depressed, pessimistic, alcoholic, nihilistic, and apathetic? Well, then this is the movie for you.
Right. That's how I like them.
Yeah.
Star Wars The Last Jedi. 5 stars.
Yes. Something I can agree with Dungman on.
So what if he uses Nolan burgers just as a sort of universal, like even when he likes something? This movie was totally Nolan burgers.
Well, okay,
it had
can
everything.
You humor me? I want to hear his Last Jedi 5-star rating because I'm probably going to hate it.
Lol. Look at
lol.
It starts with lol. Look at the triggered snowflake alt-right cucks giving this movie 1 star. They're all the same, with their homogenized whining about SJWs and crying about how Rey is a Mary Sue. If Luke, Obi-Wan, and Yoda were real, they would strike you down with their lightsabers because you're the dark side. Oh, and this movie made over $1.3 billion, so you can post all the 1-star reviews you want. It doesn't matter at all.
Wow.
No, he brings.
He didn't have any poop metaphors or
no.
Some call it. Some people believe.
Some call. Yes, some people.
I'm going to start calling my trips to the bathroom trips to make Nolan burgers.
Yeah, Nolan burgers is in my lexicon now.
Yeah,
but again, I'm going to use it back and forth, like aloha or ciao. This fucking dip is Nolan burgers. I'm like, you need to get the fuck out of my house. You're Nolan burgers.
Yeah.
Universe.
Brendan Glacane, if you're listening to this, you're invited on the show anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Open invitation.
Anytime, bro.
That brings us to the movie.
You can have a segment.
Yeah, right. You can review the movie for us.
In his version, how many Nolan burgers?
How many Nolan burgers does this movie get?
It was so good. It was a Nolan burger with cheese.
So that brings us to the movie itself. Guys, you ready to jump into this thing?
Rack 'em up, rack 'em up, rack 'em up.
Mount the curb.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Here we go. This is The Dark Knight. We open with blue bat symbol explosion. Then it's Gotham City or Chicago. There's a bank heist. There's a bunch of guys in clown masks. They're all talking about the Joker as the guy that planned the heist. They start killing each other as they each perform the task they were hired for.
Right, narrowing down the pool of profits. Also, we all realize this, but right off the bat, a nod to 66 Batman and old school Batman comics without being cheesy at all. They're all wearing clown masks.
Yes.
Like, obviously, in the Joker's mind, that's a choice. And for the audience, we recognize that. It was always Goofy in the show. Nolan took all the Goofy away.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Was that a Nixon mask painted like a clown?
Oh,
possibly. One of them,
sure,
at least.
I'm pretty sure that the Joker's clown mask was a Nixon mask.
Huh.
That would make sense. The noses were sort of long, sort of protruding.
Kind of the proboscis looking.
Well, at that time, he was the biggest crook that we knew of.
Yeah.
Public office.
Oh boy. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah. Let's see. We discover it's a mob bank, and then in the end, a bus bursts through, and the last guy kills the second to last guy. Takes his mask off, revealing it's the Joker. He makes his getaway on the school bus, which joins a row of other school buses leaving
from a field trip. Yeah. And even before he takes his mask off, he does these really great sort of, psycho type turn. Like, he looks at the guy who's dying and he's like, tilting his head, sort of like watching him die.
His body language was great.
The way he held the gun.
The tilting when he was like staring down the guy who was pointing the gun at him.
Yeah.
Before he says, "No, I killed the bus driver."
Yes. He lies about the count. He's like, he's got to be out by now, right? Joker's like, yeah, knowing there's one more.
Yeah.
Learn how to count.
Love it.
Yeah.
Scheme.
He gets the shotgun from the bank manager.
Oh, right.
Which we'll see again later on in the movie.
Yeah.
He has an automatic pistol. At this point in the movie, we only see him use those two guns. I'm pretty sure. Oh well, except for at the end where he's shooting the rifle at Batman on the motorcycle.
But he uses guns very little, which in the comics he kind of did too. He used them when it was necessary or he wanted to, but for the most part he didn't. He shared that with Batman. Like, he would find an inventive way to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Guns were boring.
Absolutely.
Or knives.
Well, he loved knives. Yeah, it was all about. And he explains that you can see a person die with a knife.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. We cut to shots of criminals being scared of Batman. Chief Gordon's on the roof with the bat signal. Then we cut to a parking garage. There's a bunch of criminals the Chechens. They're making a deal with the Scarecrow for drugs. I think it's drugs.
The Chechen dude was fantastic.
Yeah,
I want to give him one of my wacky supporting role awards.
There, you hear that, Chechen guy?
Yeah,
you got
he
the
had
official.
Jokes. He was in character. He had jokes. He was also a reasonable gangster.
Oh yeah.
Like let's hear him out.
So a bunch of guys in Batman suits come and they start trying to break it up. And the real Batman shows up and takes out the Scarecrow. He gets bit by some dogs. He chastises the fake Batmen for putting themselves in danger.
Batman.
Two things. The computer commands in the Batmobile just flash on the little screen. The first one was loiter, and then the second one was intimidate.
Yes.
It was just fun things. Also, the way that Batman bounced off that pillar when he was riding on the side of the van was hardcore.
Yeah,
it
looked
was
intense.
That looked rough.
He got hit.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Timing the jump to crush the van too.
Yes.
Yeah, that was something that was very Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was an action sequence, but what it actually showed us was how well Bruce can pay attention to so many things at once. Like he counted the seconds for that van. It wasn't just like, this is when you do it.
Yeah.
It just shows what's going on when in any situation with Batman.
Yeah.
It's great.
We cut to the bank. Gordon is checking out the heist. Batman shows up. They made the bills irradiated so they can keep track of them.
Batman made the bills irradiated.
Yes.
Batman lent them the money to track.
Or the whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Batman, he's like, I got a couple $100,000 I can lend the cops in Gotham.
Yes.
Just don't hold them too long. You might get cancer.
Yeah, that limits the number of people Batman could be. There are a number of moments in this movie where I'm like,
good
who the fuck is
point.
Batman that he has all this cash?
There's a number of things in this movie. Yeah.
But maybe we should arrest the guy who appears in bank vaults.
So they decide Gordon's going to try to bust all of the mob banks at once.
So this moment, Batman is given a choice, and Gordon has the right idea. Shouldn't we catch this guy? And Batman says to him, no, we should catch all the mob dealers all at once.
One man or the whole mob.
One man or the whole mob.
Yeah.
Batman is the reason why all of this happens, because at that point, Joker didn't have the ability to do all of this stuff. He didn't think of the Joker as a threat.
Yeah.
No.
If he
was
had
just being introduced,
Yeah, if he had gone after the Joker right then, he probably would have gotten him before any of this happened. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just watching it this time a little bit closer than I normally do.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to take that away from it. Like, he actively chose the mob.
Yeah.
Right.
That is
out of all the banks, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a mark.
And it goes.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, nothing. There's even the scene, but he's trying early on. He's trying to figure the Joker out. He's just another criminal. So what's his angle, like scarecrows or what have you? And Alfred has to tell him not to underestimate him. But Bat's not there. It takes him a while to get there.
Well, yeah. He's trying to figure out.
Writes him off.
He's trying to figure out the Joker's motivation, and Alfred has to tell him he doesn't have one.
Right. But Batman's like, everyone does.
Yeah.
Some men just like to watch the world burn. Yeah.
Yeah. That turned out to be an intense line.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly right. And that exactly encapsulates the Joker.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's the mark of a really good movie that that the choice of your protagonist is what sparks everything.
Right.
Because it really did.
Yes. Well done.
All right. Let's see. Alfred arrives at the new Bat hideout. It's not the Bat Cave. It's still being rebuilt. He helps stitch Bruce up from the dog bite after the night before. They discuss the new district attorney, Harvey Dent, and his old girlfriend, Rachel. We cut to court. Harvey Dent and Rachel are prosecuting a mobster. We find out they're dating and that Harvey Dent fortuitously has a two-headed coin. The guy on the stand pulls a gun on him, but
they don't reveal the two-headed coin for quite some time.
No, they don't reveal it yet.
Because she's bothered. She's like, you're going to put a man's life on the line for that. And he's like, no. Basically, he's like, no, I wouldn't. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So this scene also recreates the comic book acid throwing scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They changed his origin to Two-Face a little different, but they recreated that scene. Dude stood up to kill Harvey. Failed.
Which is an interesting moment. I guess the gun malfunctions or jams, and that's why he's able to field strip this pistol, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If it hadn't jammed, he'd be dead.
Well, he says next time buy American.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think that the reason why he got cast in this role, just the actor himself, is to show how much he could have been Batman in these moments, to make us believe that Two-Face could have been Batman.
His nobility.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because if he had been a skinny DA,
Yeah, well,
then we might not believe it.
Well, yeah, no, and Aaron Eckhart, so, I mean, they draw the two sides. I mean, duality is a huge theme in this. Aaron Eckhart, they refer to him as Gotham's White Knight several times. It's the Dark Knight. Yeah. He's blonde to Bruce's dark hair. They're two sides of the same, duality is just the defining theme of this, and he hits it over and over again in every possible way he can, symbolically.
Well, he even says, without ever talking to Batman, he's like, he obviously doesn't want to do it forever. He obviously wants someone else to take over or have his goal be obsolete because there's peace. So, Harvey realizes that without ever hearing that from the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He understands Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. They meet with, Dent meets with Gordon, who wants a warrant to bust the mob banks. Dent wants to meet Batman.
For his Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. He's also suspicious of some of the cops in Gordon's unit because he used to be on internal affairs.
Well, and all three of them are suspicious of each other.
Yeah.
Batman and Gordon discuss not the commissioner, the DA, saying, can he trust him? Can we trust him? I don't know. Right. I mean, he seems like a good guy. And then we see Bruce Wayne doing his own background investigation on him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Then he doesn't trust Gordon because of his background at Major Crimes. He's like, well, I'm going to go down to Major Crimes and meet this guy, check him out for myself. They all start with this mistrust.
Yeah.
And that's an ongoing theme that they stuck to. There's always been one or two cops in Gordon's unit that were total turncoats, Bullock and so forth. There's always been somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. At Wayne Enterprises, Lucius Fox is having a meeting with a Chinese businessman named Lau. He asks an accountant to go over the numbers of the deal again. Bruce tells him that he only wanted to meet with him to get a look at his books because Lau's in bed with all of the criminal organizations in Gotham.
Well, and he's asleep through the whole meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny.
That's my favorite Bruce Wayne moment. Yeah.
Yeah, but he actually, I think, but then but the flip side of that is he's probably actually is like semi dozing because he's up all night as Batman.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. It's a combo.
He's only half miming being asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Listening is easy for Batman.
Yeah.
And I love the arrogance of Lau before we even know him as a character. He's just so sure of himself. So this plan will work. Give me all of your money to hide. Not the numbers on the books, the physical cash to hide for you.
Which leads me to it was one of my unanswered questions. Do real life organized crime keep their money in big piles of cash rather than has numbers and accounts?
The Joker made the pile.
Well, he did. But Lau was like, I have to protect your money.
Yeah, Lau took
he says
the physical
in
money.
A secure location. Yeah. Well, it's in a secure location I can't tell you about.
Yeah. I assume that there were multiple locations. I don't know. That's an interesting question, though. Was that just a pile that Lau had in a warehouse on the wharf?
Yeah. I think it's to illustrate the shittiness of the criminals who are running Gotham. Joker even says this. We deserve a better class of criminal.
Yeah.
You guys are stupid and you're boring. And all you do is rob people for money, and that's fucking boring.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that night, Dent and Rachel have dinner. Bruce Wayne crashes. He's impressed with Dent and offers to set up a fundraising gala for him. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Leaders of the major crime families have their evil meeting. We've got a gala and an evil meeting, guys.
Yep.
Lau is teleconferencing in. It's by Zoom.
Totally.
Yeah.
So this scene is one of my favorites in the movies, probably lots of other people's. But what an introduction for such a big villain.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just sauntering in.
Mm-hmm. Gonna do a magic trick.
Would.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, he's in Hong Kong. He tells them he's going to take all their money and keep it safe so that they can't be busted. Joker shows up and tells them what they really need to do is kill Batman. He offers to do it
because he has no jurisdiction. He will find you and he will make you squeal.
Yep. Well,
he's right.
See, and this is the flip. This is the flip side of the coin of that previous scene between Batman and Gordon, where Batman decided it wasn't that. Batman didn't realize Joker was the important one to go after. Joker does realize Batman's the important one to go after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he knows Batman is ruthless, and Batman doesn't follow rules and does what he wants. And that's why he relates to him. He's like, you think I'm a wild card? This fucking guy's a wild card. He broke international law to bring this guy back to Gotham.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just like, we're not different. We're not
They're
different.
figuring each other out without getting to
code.
Encounter each other. Both the Joker and Batman are, the Joker doesn't understand that he has rules that he follows yet. Mm-hmm. He thinks of him as ruthless, but at a certain point he realizes like, well, you don't kill people though. Yeah. I can exploit that.
Yeah.
But he sees the hypocrisy in I'll do absolutely anything I have to.
Yep.
Yeah.
They refuse his offer. He does the bit with the grenades. Then Michael Jai White puts a price on the Joker's head.
Mm-hmm.
Then Dent, Gordon, and Batman have their meeting on top of the roof. They decide that Batman's going to go to Hong Kong and get Lau back to Gotham so that they can turn him on the gangsters so they can be prosecuted. Lucius and Bruce then do some planning on how to abduct Lau. They look over Bruce's new gear. He does that on the roof. That's made me laugh. Then we discover Bruce has gone on a cruise with the entire Russian ballet as a cover for his trip to Hong Kong. What was it?
Which was foreshadowed by their conversation with Dawes. He's taking me to the Russian ballet. Oh, you like ballet? He's also fucking with his ex.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God.
Yeah, I watch a lot of true crime, and a lot of the alibi cover stories are, I took the Russian ballet out onto a yacht. I couldn't have killed my wife.
I was on a yacht with the Russian ballet.
And I had forgotten that Rachel knew he was Batman. Up till it's made pretty obvious in the party, the gala party where she gets kicked out of the window kind of thing. But she should have been like, dude, what the fuck is Batman doing? If Bruce is taking the Russian ballet, Bruce, what are you doing right now?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know,
she knew that was a condition of their love.
Yeah.
If you could stop being Batman, we could be together.
If you stop being Batman, I'll stop being Katie Holmes.
I'll stop being the Flash.
Then the Joker shows up at Michael Jai White's place and kills him. Making his men fight to the death with the with the broken pole cue stick was vicious.
3 guys. And he drops 1/2 of the pool cue on the ground.
Yeah. And says, make it quick.
They have to fight over that.
And we get our first scar origin story.
I was just going to say that. Yes.
You want to know how I got these scars? The first one, yeah.
And of course, it changes every time, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Joker.
He's the one-man Rashomon.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan said he specifically did not want to show the Joker's backstory in order.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know. I love watching Martha Wayne get shot in a dark alley.
Give it to me. It would have taken. Go ahead.
There's nothing like pearls on the wet
just scattering on the
pearls
asphalt.
on asphalt. Yeah. It would have taken all of the wind out of his reveal at the gangster meeting if we had already seen some weird trauma. Like, oh, I get it. He was beaten. Oh, I get it. He was neglected. He had to watch his prostitute mom. Like,
he and Batman are connected
in some
through
way,
shared history of some sort. That's not necessary.
So much more satisfying to just have him saunter into the room.
Well, I definitely loved the scene where Joker and Batman were fighting, and Joker yells, "Martha!"
How do you know that name?
Like, dude, I shot your mom. What?
Because it's a name. I know lots of names. I'm not named.
Who the fuck says their mother's name? Well, like you don't, you don't go, Mom.
In that moment, when you're getting your ass kicked, you don't generally yell your mother's full name.
Your mother's actual name. You don't yell like okay, so maybe if you're really fucked up, you'd yell mom or mommy, but you yell her actual name. You don't call your mom.
I think that happens after when you're a bloody mess on the ground going, oh no, Mom, I want my mom. But some guy punches you in the face and you're like, Martha.
Oh, dear God. Okay, anyways, back to this Batman movie. In Hong Kong, Lucius Fox arrives and uses a meeting with Lau as an excuse to use his new invention, the sonar phone. He does that so he can keep see the layout of the building.
Which I call phonar.
I almost said it. I was like, Al's going to grimace. Thank you.
Which echolocation, bats.
Yeah.
Dolphin.
But the Bruce and Lucius, when they discuss it, Bruce is like, just like a submarine, Mr. Wayne.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was waiting for Dolphin Man to show up, actually.
Al's right, though. That's a tiny little Batman 66 moment.
Yeah.
When Robin says something really obvious, and then Batman's like, precisely.
Yes.
It was just reversed, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that.
I did like.
Yeah, Bruce.
I liked how they used the phonar, if you will, because you're not allowed to have phones in the building. No. He's just caught in the oh, sorry, I forgot I had this other phone. I'm a CEO of a business.
Yeah,
right. But if that was O'Hare, he'd be on the no-fly list.
Yeah. So then that night, Bruce flies down to the building to break in. Do you think that Lucius ever gives him equipment and he's like, it's fine, but it doesn't look like bat stuff? Can you make it bat themed for me?
It's like a grappling hook with Ed Hardy flames on it, something Guy Fieri designed. It's like, can we get this in black? Unfortunately, no. I checked the Amazon page. There's steel gray
or bright green.
Yeah, bright green. Something that glows in the dark.
Yeah.
Is that Batman? No, that's a gun or a hook.
What I found really funny was there's a point later on where he's talking to Lucius dressed as Batman, and he's still using the Batman voice. Just him and Lucius all alone. He's like, Lucius, what do you why are you doing that, Bruce? He knows who you are.
Take your mouth guard out.
All right, so Bruce gets into the building and abducts Lau. He makes his escape by airplane, the Skyhook. That was cool.
Super cool.
It was.
It's like the bridge building Batmobile. It's very practical. It's an actual real world application.
I was going to say, I believe that Skyhook, probably called something else, but I believe that was made or prototyped.
Yeah, that's got to be terrifying to do.
It made sense. Oh my God, yeah. Reverse
bungee out of a building.
Yeah. We're going to grab you and hurl you towards the plane.
Plane's moving about, 450 miles an hour, and you will be
propellers.
I have to imagine that yanking would probably kill you.
It's probably got a bungee. So it probably stretches up to a certain point, and then you get yanked at
whack
180 miles an hour. It only breaks your back instead of pulling all the bones out of your body.
Yeah, you just tie it to your ankle and yank.
Yeah, it slingshots you into the Hercules' propellers.
Damn it, that's another one.
All right, so Bruce leaves him on the steps of Gotham PD, leaves Lau there. Maggie Gyllenhaal, Rachel, gets Lau to agree to make a deal with Dent. Dent decides he's going to do, what was it call it, a RICO case?
RICO.
Yeah, you've never heard that? It's in so much popular culture. I feel like I knew what a RICO.
Yeah, it's a mobster entrapment kind of thing. You get as many mobsters as you can linked to each other.
Well, right. The idea is everyone's complicit.
Yeah.
It's more than a conspiracy. All these people had to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
One person's involved, they're all involved.
Yeah, exactly. So Lau agrees to work with them. The gangsters... at this point, the gangsters, the Chechen decides that the real problem is Batman. There's the scene in the courtroom with all of the gangsters together.
That's funny.
Yeah. The mayor meets.
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
That's just such a cool moment for to show like, well, they'll get appeals and then the mid-level guys will have to get stuck because they won't be able to afford it. Like they laid it out how it would have functioned in the real world.
If you're going to use RICO, then you have to realize that 150 people are all entitled to due process.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if it's one indictment, it has to happen at not the same exact moment, but at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to go one by one by one by one. You can't. That's not how RICO works. Where you're all guilty.
Which
in Alice in Wonderland.
My big takeaway from this, because since this movie and these movies, Nolan has made a bunch of like concept films.
Sure.
This is a real world movie, but the hook, like in Inception or in Interstellar, you've got time travel or space travel or dream travel. This is a real world where a superhero exists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Which is, instead of it being a Batman movie, it's like, how do you stop crime in the most corrupt city in the world? Oh, and there's also a billionaire who is a superhero.
Yeah.
Without powers, without supernatural powers. And his arch enemy doesn't have supernatural powers. It's about crazy fighting crazy, but they're two different brands of crazy.
It's a very different take on Batman. We don't start with Batman. We start with the crime.
Yeah.
And we start with like the city itself is so corrupted. That's why Batman exists.
Yes.
What I found
instead of him existing because mom and dad Pearl's sidewalk.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. More than that. Yeah.
What I found interesting was that he Nolan used so much of Chicago in this. Like in Batman Begins, he used a lot of CGI to make Chicago look like Gotham. Like he changed a lot of buildings. He did not do that.
Not very much. Yeah.
The Sears Tower's right there.
Yeah.
But I didn't live there for long, admittedly, but there are many, many landmarks I recognize. There are many, many neighborhoods I recognize. At the end where he saves that fink of an accountant, I know where that is underneath the L.
Well, and we all remember the fist fight on the bean.
Yeah. The Centennial Bean. Yeah. And then the hot dogs at Kaminsky. Yeah. No, that's in Boston. Soldier Field.
So, all right. Let's see. The mayor meets with Dent. They're interrupted by the copycat Batman being hung from the building outside. The Joker killed him and filmed it. They show it on the news. He threatens to keep killing people until Batman reveals himself.
Which, again, always a Joker tactic. Compared to all of the Rogues Gallery, one of the first things Joker does is get a hold of mass media.
Yep.
Tell everybody it's coming, which is sort of benevolent in his way, which even more than Harvey is kind of the Joker style. Like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, you can go. I'm killing the others.
Yeah.
Well, and so much of it is to sow chaos.
Yes.
Discord.
Fear
That's really
panic.
his MO is like,
Yep.
how do I make as much chaos out of as little action as possible?
Right, like the makeup scheme.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough to
Get on
make
the nightly
everyone
news.
paranoid, but really no idea what to do about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that night, Bruce has his fundraiser for Dent. The police figure out the Joker is going to be targeting the police commissioner, the judge that heard the case, and Harvey Dent.
I love there's a cute little line between Dent and Alfred when Harvey meets Alfred. He says, "You've known Rachel her whole life." Not yet, sir.
Not yet.
Not
That's
yet.
a great line.
Wow.
Very,
Almost
very
though.
Wow, and foreshadowing. That is 100%
Right.
foreshadowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. And the other funny line in this scene that isn't Joker related is, you know, the rich guy making out with the much younger woman in Bruce's bedroom, and then he goes and opens his secret. She's like, "Oh my God, you have a panic room! Thank God!" And he just closes it. I think he's done that to Clark before, on like comic books. Yeah, but I love it.
The other line from Two-Face to Alfred. Does she have any crazy ex-boyfriends I should be worried about? You have no idea.
Yeah.
When people say that and they think the sentence is over, it bothers me. I was like, could you give me an idea then? Because that's why I asked.
Why are you being so cryptic? Is Bruce her ex-boyfriend?
I asked a question. You're not telling a story. All right.
So Bruce talks to Rachel. She tells him that if he ever stops being Batman, they can be together. The police commissioner gets poisoned. The judge gets blown up in her car. But the two cops.
Here's my card. I love it. Sorry.
Yeah. The two cops that put her in the car were the crooked ones, we find out later.
Yep.
The Joker and his men show up at Bruce's party and start terrorizing the guests and Senator Patrick Leahy. Bruce.
Again, I'm sorry to keep interrupting. I love that he picks up a glass of champagne and just sort of throws it at himself, hardly gets a drink, grabs a shrimp skewer, eats the tomato off, chews it very animatedly.
Yeah.
But then he goes person to person. Where's Harvey Dent? Are you Harvey Dent? You know Harvey? Where's Harvey? You know him? Just and gently smacking people. Not brutal, not knives to the throat. Just, where the fuck's the guy I'm looking for? Is that you? You, him? Where's he?
Yeah, well,
Jokerness.
And the bald guy, he like pats his head enough so you can hear it slapping the skin on top of his head.
And then Leahy, and the look that he's like, "We're not afraid of you," and he's all, and gets real close and looks him in the eye. You remind me, you know what I mean? If he hadn't said anything, Joker wouldn't have noticed him.
Yeah.
With the cocked head, you remind me of my father.
Daddy hated my father.
Right.
Yeah.
Bruce and Jokey.
So yeah,
just great scene.
Batman.
That's an interesting mirror of Batman and the Joker. I hated my father, whereas Bruce like idolizes his father.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, neither of them really knew their fathers very well at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all right, Bruce knocks out Harvey Dent and hides him safely away. He returns as Batman. The Joker's men fight him for a bit. Then the Joker throws Rachel out the window. Batman dives out after her, saving her life. We never revisit the party. Did the Joker stay and like just eat shrimp?
Well,
it's a very poor choice of words.
I assume that he realized that Harvey wasn't going to show.
Yeah,
it was just like fucking stupid party. Anyways,
I thought it was a weird cut that we just move on. We go to like after that we just move to the next scene and never show the Joker leaving the party or anything because like.
Good point.
You know, he could have been killing a number of Gotham's richest people.
Meanwhile, Bruce is just sitting on a taxi cab with Rachel.
Yeah, exactly.
And back at the party, we got our second Scar story.
Yeah, Scar story number 2.
She's threatening Rachel.
Yeah. Let's see. Bruce and Alfred discuss the Joker. This is some people just want to watch the world burn scene.
The Burmese bandit.
Great story.
Yeah.
They were paying, or he was being paid by all the warlords, and they went to go and stop him, and they found a kid with a ruby in his hand because money was not the object of his goal. It was good hunting.
What do you do with a man without a motive?
Yeah.
Even forensic shows now, that's what stumps people 9 times out of 10. When there's no discernible motive, there's no reason for him to be doing it.
Yeah.
That's what makes him scary.
Yeah, that's the Dahmers of the world, you know.
Right, exactly. It's usually money or love. Yeah, but when it's not, it's very terrifying.
Yeah, it is. Let's see. The cops are called to a crime scene that the Joker sent up with Harvey and Dent, the two guys. Batman takes a chunk of the wall with a shattered bullet in it. He's going to get fingerprints.
How the fuck is this supposed to work?
Yeah.
Those fingerprints would have definitely been burned off.
And he's like, I need it before your men contaminate it. And then he takes a whole chunk of wall where the bullet. It's like, that's evidence, Mr. Batman. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, they figure out the Joker's next target's the mayor. Then meanwhile, the accountant that Lucius had been looking into the Lau deal figures out that Bruce Wayne's Batman. He threatens to go public. Lucius does not give in to the blackmail.
This might be my favorite scene of the whole movie. Lucius Fox's line. It's long, so I won't go into it. But basically, your plan is to blackmail this person?
Yeah, you want to blackmail Batman.
A billionaire vigilante?
Who beats up criminals with his bare hands?
Pulp.
Yeah. And he's like
one of the most powerful men in the world who spends his time. I love that. Like his hobby is to dress up as a bat and beat people to a pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and he sums it up with good luck.
Yeah. Good luck. See how that goes.
Yeah. So let's see. Lucius does discover that Bruce has a secret cell phone deal with the military. He's doing some R&D with them. There's a public ceremony for the dead commissioner, a parade. Bruce discovers that the fingerprint on the bullet belongs to someone with an apartment overlooking the parade. Right? Is that how that worked out? Is that how he got to that apartment?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of plot in this movie, and a lot of like small details lead to other things that happen. So every once in a while, I found it following the thread was a little tenuous. All right, so he heads there. He discovers that there's a bunch of policemen tied up there. The Joker and his men are disguised as police in the parade. They attack the mayor, start shooting. The mayor does not get killed, but Lieutenant Gordon apparently does get killed.
So the unanswered questions will get there, but was this the Joker's plan all along to shoot Jim Gordon so that he could then later on get caught by Jim Gordon? Or is he just improvising his way through this whole thing, just one step ahead of Batman?
I think the latter.
It has to be the latter.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
believe he really was aiming for the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he probably was.
But then foresaw the fact that, did he know that Batman was Batman? We'll get there. I have so many questions from basically this moment on throughout the storyline.
Yeah, once the dominoes start falling with these things here. Yeah. All right, so let's see. They capture one of the Joker's men, and Harvey abducts him. Batman breaks a gangster's legs, trying to. He's fighting
Marconi, right?
Yeah.
He drops Marconi off the fire escape.
Maroni.
Yeah, but when he's fighting John Wick style through the club.
Yeah, in a club.
That was hilarious. Could you imagine being at a club and you're like, "Is that Batman?"
Yeah.
Oh, he's just fucking people up. I should leave.
Yeah.
It's like seeing Shaq in a club.
Be like, I really picked the wrong night to take Molly.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I love Eric Roberts.
I'm gonna hug Batman.
Such an asshole comic, but like, comment. Like, what makes you think I want to hear you talk?
Yeah. So yeah, all right. So yeah, he tells him the only way he'll find the Joker is to reveal his identity. Meanwhile, Harvey is threatening the Joker's guy. Batman shows up and says, "Hey, don't do that. You're supposed to be the good guy. You have to stay clean." He tells Dent to call a press conference so that he can reveal himself to the world and turn himself in to stop the Joker from killing people.
Well, he didn't stop him. Go ahead.
Well, the reason he was threatening the guy, ultimately, he broke once he saw that he was wearing Rachel's name, Officer Rachel Dawes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the keys were sitting in the ambulance. The ambulance is unattended. This is where my question about the Joker and his machinations, was this his plan all along, was to have this guy get caught so that Two-Face would take him and kill him and become Two-Face already, kind of thing, like corrupt him then.
I think a lot of what he does are happy accidents.
Yeah, well, because Batman says to him, this guy's a nut. You don't want to kill him. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, I mean, that's one of my unanswered questions is the Joker insists he's not a planner, that he just does things, but there's clearly a lot of planning involved in all of these, but at the same time, a lot of it does seem accidental. So is he a planner or is he a rabid dog? Which one is he? I don't know. I don't know.
I interpret this as he is constantly, he wants this chase to continue forever. He does not want to, at this point, he doesn't want to kill Batman.
Yeah.
He just wants this to be forever, which it is in the comics.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always chasing each other.
And he mentions later, you threatened to kill 30,000 people. Nobody says anything. You threatened to kill one mayor and everybody loses their mind. So that's a plan, but it's not necessarily a scheme. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to get everyone's attention, I'm going to promise to kill this guy.
But there's a lot of elaborate things he does, like getting the dude with the bomb in his belly into the thing so he can make a phone call, and like he does a lot of very elaborate.
I don't think he personally does any of that stuff.
But the guy with the bomb in his belly was a cop killer. He was accused of killing a cop. So somehow he got framed, or he actually killed a cop, and then they sewed him up with a bomb inside him.
Even in the comics, the people that create a lot of the mayhem for the Joker are his henchmen, the people in the Joker.
Well, no, he's not personally doing it, but he's directing people to do it. He is the cause,
which requires some foresight and planning.
He is planning it and having
That's
it
to get
done
out
for
of
him.
jail free. I think he could at least have come up with that plan and still be totally unstable. But that's how he got out of. That's how he got out of jail.
Well, yeah. Well, of course, that's how he got out of jail. But I'm also saying, like, that's a lot of planning.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a rat will come up with plans to get out of the cage.
All right. So at the press conference, though, Harvey declares himself the Batman. I declare Batman.
I'm Spartacus.
Yeah. It was. I'm Batman, and so's my wife.
Well, he didn't want Batman to stop. He wanted Batman to finish and take down the Joker.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go sit in the cell. You do this.
So they get he's taken into custody. They get a convoy of armored vehicles to transfer him to county jail. As they do along the way, they are attacked by the Joker. He's in a semi. He's got an RPG. Batman joins in. There's the big chase scene. Lots of property damage. A lot of property damage in areas of town unrelated to the police convoy that Batman causes. He's going down.
Well, they film a lot in the Chicago underground. There is still a lot of it's down there, not on the proper streets above.
Yeah, well, but once he gets into the bike, he fucks up a lot of people's cars that were completely.
Yes, Batman does.
Yes, Batman does specifically
for sure.
Cars that were unrelated to the chase.
He flipped that semi, which now made it much harder to move because the wheels are upside down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of dollars in property damage. But okay, so they end up capturing the Joker. There's that scene. That scene is definitely a reference to Batman '89, where the Joker is standing in the middle of the street and Batman's coming at him on the bike. It's definitely a reference.
With a long pistol.
Yeah, definitely.
Come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the way that the Joker scrambled out of the semi after it flipped over.
Uh-huh.
And he trips over himself and he flops. It's just such good body acting.
Oh, yeah. Body acting is amazing.
Yeah.
He does not move with intention.
He's like a rag doll trying to walk, trying to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So, all right. Let's see.
And he's an intense misogynist. Or not misogynist. Masochist.
Okay.
No, masochist.
He is an intense.
Any pain he sustains, he loves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He'd also be a pretty intense masseuse.
He might, yeah.
I can't imagine he'd be gentle.
I'm not turning my back to that guy.
So, yeah, they capture the Joker. It's revealed Gordon is not actually dead.
He just shows up at his own house.
Yeah, and his wife slaps him. Door. Yeah. They have the Joker in custody. They can't identify him. The mayor tells Gordon he's being promoted commissioner. He goes home. We see Dent getting in the car. Ramirez looks all shifty. Then at the jail, there's the prisoner complaining about the stomach ache. Gordon gets called back because it's revealed that Harvey Dent did not show up. He disappeared. He interrogates the Joker, who tells him that the dirty cops helped out with the whole thing. Gordon leaves. Batman shows up behind him. I love you never start with the head.
Yep. Yeah.
And then he punches him in the hand. He's like, see?
But yeah, it should be like 101. And it just shows like how savvy and street smart the Joker is comparatively.
Yeah. A big theory going around is that he was like part of like some sort of CIA special ops type thing, which is why he knows so much
Joker
about
was?
Yeah. That's a theory that I don't know, I've seen it on the internet here and there. Just based on clues in this, like his, he's good. He's good with improvised explosives, and he's a good shot. He knows about torture. There's a lot of things. There's
he
a lot of
understands motivation.
He has a lot of weaponry and hurting people skills that.
Well, we don't know how old he is or how long.
Yeah,
he's been doing what. So
yeah, we have no idea.
Timothy McVeigh figured it out.
Mm-hmm. So all right.
Well, I don't mean to be to be morbid, but he wasn't a bomb expert.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
All right.
But so all right, the Joker.
The truth is finally revealed.
Yeah, Timothy Bay has it all figured out. Gordon leaves. Batman shows up. Joker tells Batman that he has Dent and Rachel both tied up. He gives them the addresses because he knows that Batman can't get to them both in time. We cut to Dent and Rachel. They're tied up with barrels of gas and bombs. They have a live phone connection so they can talk to each other. Then Batman leaves. The Joker escapes jail. So yeah, the cop, he goaded the cop into trying to beat him up, takes the cop hostage, gets his phone call, and activates the bomb that way.
Yep.
All because Batman pushed him up against the window so he could get a piece of glass.
Yep.
To hold him at knife point with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Batman and the police race to where Rachel and Harvey are being held. Batman goes to save Harvey. The police do not get to Rachel in time. She dies, and Harvey gets half his face burned off in the explosion because he fell over and his face was covered in gas.
Batman
he's burnt.
Batman thought he was on his way to save Rachel because the Joker switched their addresses.
Right. Which why wouldn't you expect that? But he didn't quite know the Joker like he does later on. But yeah, he did the switcheroo.
Yeah.
So
because that's what he wanted. He wanted Harvey to face Batman. He wanted that to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Joker already knew that Batman cared more about Rachel than Harvey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says it to him.
He's got him pegged.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He knew.
He's got to know who he is.
Yeah.
He's got to.
Who he really is?
Yeah.
He's got to.
Maybe. In the comics,
I think before this moment, he has to know that he is actually Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
I mean, because otherwise, why would he give a shit about Rachel Dawes?
Well, he's like the way you jumped out after her.
Yeah. He saw
Back
Batman.
at the party.
Yeah.
And when Batman went to save Rachel,
there's a room full of maybe 80 people, and he just ran immediately to her.
Yeah.
Well, he was already by the Joker by the window because he says the line, but yeah, Joker's like, just the way that you jumped out. You were genuinely scared and worried.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that simple like Batman.
Saving
right, you're
somebody,
saved. I'm going to continue on.
After Rachel dies, Alfred receives a letter that she wrote for Bruce, telling him she was going to marry Harvey and they were never going to be together. Alfred decides not to give it to him. In the hospital, Harvey goes kind of crazy. He's pissed off at Gordon because Gordon's crooked cops were the ones that kidnapped him. We find out that his nickname when he was in internal investigations was Harvey Two-Face. Once again, a happy coincidence.
Yeah, too bad he wasn't Harvey Horstick.
Yeah. Harvey face not burned off.
What if he burned just his hand or something?
Oh yeah, Harvey Handy Harvey.
Handy Harvey. Well, there's a guy that sits out back, a homeless dude named Handy Harvey, but you don't want to know how he got that name.
I mean, unless you got $20, then
yeah, then maybe you do want to know. Yeah, you'll find out. So you'll find out. He's going to do it whether you want him to or not.
You'll find out.
You better watch $20.
You better watch out. Yeah.
All right. So, meanwhile, the Joker burns up all the mob's money and takes over the mob, kills the Chechen guy.
He says he burns half.
He says he's only burning his half, but
that's what he says.
What's the idea?
It's not.
Well, was that pile only half of it then? Because I got the idea. He's like, I'm only burning half the pile. It being a joke that he's only burning his half of the pile, but the whole half is going to burn.
That makes sense.
That's how I took it. Yeah, when I first saw the movie. Yeah, this time I was kind of confused. I was like, "Are we missing?"
I just knew he wasn't telling the truth. There was no way.
Yeah, 100%. He wasn't telling the truth in some way.
I wonder if that's another symbolic nod to Two-Face.
Half.
He's burning half the money.
Oh yeah,
and he burnt half of Harvey.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's symbolism again. Yeah. So on TV, the accountant that threatened to go public is on a show to reveal who Batman is. Joker calls in and tells them that he doesn't want him to spoil the surprise, and unless the accountant...
First-time caller, long-time listener. Sally Jesse, I'd just like to say.
I'd like to say that man is no good, and she should kick him to the curb.
Deal breaker.
Unless the accountant is killed in the next hour, he's going to blow up a hospital. So Gordon immediately starts evacuating hospitals. The accountant is taken into protective custody. Mobs of people are trying to kill him. Bruce races out in the Lamborghini to try to stop it. They find out
very subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. They look for cops that have family members in hospitals, so they can find out who maybe is a weak link.
So, is this a greater violation of individual rights than the cell phone thing? Because that's a HIPAA violation.
It is, and people take that seriously.
And that's a crime.
I have to take a class on that every year.
Yeah, I've had to several times working with But anyways, is it against HIPAA to verify or deny that a person has been admitted? They can tell you that, right?
I guess admission is different.
Well,
I've called hospitals and be like, "Do you have anyone named blah 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 blah?"
Yeah, they do that.
I've been in that situation where someone.
Yeah.
I've been in that.
Okay, yeah, interesting. Okay.
Anyway,
so all right, so they find out that the cop that's in the car with Gordon and the accountant guy has someone in the hospital. Meanwhile, the Joker's dressed as a nurse. He visits Harvey Dent, gives him the whole everybody loses their mind speech, mad dog thing.
I'm like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with him if I caught him.
Yeah. So the Joker, is the Joker a dog? Because he likes sticking his head out the window. He's constantly licking things. Yeah. All right. So let's see. He frees Harvey Dent from his restraints, gives him a gun, and sets him after the crooked cops that helped him.
Gives him the chance to kill him.
Yeah. Harvey Dent could have just killed him.
But Harvey's already a slave to the coin.
Yeah. See, here's the thing, is that even the Joker always uses people's rules against them. Like Batman has rules, even Two-Face has rules, everyone has rules, everyone except the Joker. The Joker has no rules.
Right.
He says here the thing that he's an agent of chaos, and the thing about chaos is it's fair.
Yeah.
And then later, Dent, same sort of motif. Chance is fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, all right. The accountant is saved.
Harvey's been to law school.
Yes.
True.
Where did he get this idea that chance is fairness? Justice is fairness.
And the Joker went to technical school.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's
like
he could fix a garbage disposal. But
Harvey's ideas of fairness are like a 14-year-old boy's idea of fairness, like undeveloped. Like, yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, 50-50.
like read fucking Plato,
flipping
dude.
a coin.
Yeah.
You do that to see who kicks off first in a game.
Well, I mean,
Right.
yeah,
Somebody dies.
thus the grotesque nature of Two-Face and, the fairness.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is all new to him because he used to always know the outcome of his coin toss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. And honestly, go ahead.
Now there's the one coin with the burned face and the clean face.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So, all
But
right.
a lot of his rogues gallery sort of just like the Riddler, who's so bipolar he can't help but help them solve his crime. Like, yeah, you're right. Everybody has some sort of little hang up, even if they've rigged the system, but the Joker has no such Achilles heel, no such a totem, I guess, for lack of a better word, talisman.
Yeah.
He just picks up knives along the way.
Exactly. He'll just stab you, or he won't stab you.
Oh, I have
and
room in my
that's
pockets for
terrifying.
more knives. That sounds great. He's got a cheery disposition also.
The real
If you hung out with a guy that could stab you, that's as terrifying as being stabbed, I think.
Yeah.
So
that guy could stab me.
I don't want
at
to
any
take
moment.
too far away from the Joker, of course, because Heath Ledger died and we didn't get to see him in future movies. But what on earth would this Joker's Harley Quinn be?
Ooh.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
I wonder, because it's a serious franchise. They take themselves seriously.
And I don't know if you guys know that they had designs for him to be in the third movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just imagine like, would they have had like his psychologist, like his state appointed doctor
That would
become
I see
his own acolyte?
That makes sense that they would.
Wow, that would have been really cool.
Of course he would come back, because what is this man doing when we're not watching him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and
it's like, he went down to Bermuda with the money he burned.
They went as far as storyboarding him into the next movie, which we'll probably mention when we go to Rises. But he was storyboarded in kind of like in Thor: The Dark World, where they see Loki and it's like, oh, let's not let that guy out the whole time. It's that same moment of like, that's probably more trouble than it's worth. Yeah, and they just showed him through the window, basically. But they decided it was not going to be fair to his family and estate to even depict him in the movie.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So,
that makes, of course. Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile, Bruce saves the accountant guy by running into a car with his Ferrari. The Joker blows up the hospital. That bit, his bit with the detonator is hilarious.
Detonator,
yeah.
And
Very
that was unscripted.
I read that too. It just didn't go off.
It just didn't go off. All the explosives were supposed to go off, and it just didn't. And Ledger turned it into probably the funniest moment in this film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we know the Joker makes his own shit. Do you know what I mean? So there's a technical aspect to him we've never seen, but we know because all of his gadgets, he didn't buy them.
Yeah.
So it's just that human moment of like what we would do with our own remotes. It was just great.
Yeah.
And they had to use this take because they couldn't afford to build another building and blow it up.
And blow it all up.
Yeah, exactly.
Brilliant.
Wow.
All right. So meanwhile, we find out Harvey Dent's missing. The bus of people from the hospital is missing. The bus that the Joker got on. He goes on TV, tells everyone to flee the city because he's going hog wild that night.
He's all spring break.
Yeah, he's basically like, I'm going Joker style. Get out. Although he says he's hooked up explosives to bridges and tunnels.
Yeah, to the bridge and tunnel crowd.
Yeah.
Right.
Harvey starts killing the crooked cops. Batman has used the sonar cell phones, the phonar, to turn every cell phone in Gotham into a way to spy on the entire city to find the Joker. Lucius resigns over it, but says he'll help him with this before leaving.
Well, he says if the device stays, I leave. And then he says to him, enter your name when you're done.
Right.
Like, so I guess he doesn't resign because he's in the third movie in the same role.
Yeah.
But he threatens to, which morally makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his idea is, if you're going to make this a Batman tool that you use regularly, I don't want to be a part of it because there needs to be a code.
Twice in a week.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting addicted to the power.
Yeah. So
you're turning into a real Batman.
Bruce Wayne in his quest to become a real bat.
So I have a question. This moment when he turns on the device and he says, like, Lucius, I need you to man this station, you know, and Alfred is also working the other station. Batman now has 2 men guys at the desk, you know, which is sweet, having 2 technical operators. Yeah. We see, if you look at the screens, it looks like they are, the point of view is like flying around in the rooms. You can see the room from any direction. Yeah, it's like little flying bats, if you will, flying around the rooms. When in reality, you would be seeing from the perspective of the receiver.
Yeah.
It looks like people are throwing their phones across the room. That was like, my mind immediately went to are people tossing their phones back and forth, and we're just getting this great view of like playing hot potato with a cell phone in every room and in Gotham? Yeah. Anyways, took away from some of the realism, but it lent itself to finding people later on because we could then zoom in to like when we find the Joker on the phone. Yeah.
So, all right. So the police put people on ferries to get them out of the city. The Joker has rigged 2 of them with explosives, one containing civilians, the other containing prisoners. He threatens to blow them both up by midnight, but will let one ferry live if its passengers, who have been supplied the detonator to the other boat's explosives, blows up the other boat.
We think. I mean, that's what's been told to us and by the Joker. Mm-hmm. It could be neither of them were armed. Could have been could have been pressing one, blew up both.
Well, I think they were armed because there's that point where the Joker tells Batman wait for it and like is expecting an explosion. He's expecting them to do it and it doesn't happen, so he just says, "Oh, I have to do it myself."
Yeah, I remember that. But knowing the Joker, anyway.
He could have done the switcheroo. That seemed like the most likely, where they actually had the detonator to their own boat.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Or one blows up the other. That was my idea too. All right. We don't know.
Well, he told them that one blows up the other, but you know.
Yes, of course he did.
Yeah, but
it wouldn't be the
Joker.
The first time he lied about his explosions in this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah. Well, and this is another this is kind of like another mirror of the Rachel and Harvey Dent situation where he gives him the address, but it's actually the wrong address.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Switched the addresses. So, all right. So, let's see. Batman finds the Joker using the sonar phones. Both the civilians and the prisoners refuse to kill each other while Batman apprehends the Joker after a brief fight. Before the SWAT arrive to take the Joker into custody, the Joker gloats that Gotham citizens will lose hope once Harvey Dent's rampage becomes public knowledge. Harvey has taken Gordon's family hostage, threatening to kill them at the spot where Rachel died. He takes Harvey there too, and is doing a whole like choose who dies thing. Batman arrives. Dent shoots him, but Batman isn't killed. He tackles Two-Face off the building. Two-Face falls to his death. Batman saves Gordon's son. Batman convinces Gordon to tell the public that he was the one behind Dent's killing spree in order to uphold Dent's public image. Dent's hailed as a hero, The police launch a manhunt for Batman. Gordon gets real long-winded with his kid. He's telling this long speech, the whole like, not the hero we deserve, the hero we need.
The crux of the third movie.
Is to his 9-year-old son. It was just like, Dad, it was a simple question, Dad.
I don't quite understand your logic.
It's like, I'm confused. What do you mean? Yeah.
I also am confused. I've been confused for, 12, 13 years now? Not the hero we deserve, but the hero we need.
Yeah.
So what exactly does that mean?
I have my theory.
What exactly does that mean? What's your theory, Josh?
So, as said before, the White Knight for Gotham was Harvey Dent. Batman was already around and well known, and he had his effect on the criminals, which was fear. But as far as morale and civic pride and all that shit, as far as Gotham goes, they weren't necessarily behind Batman for that reason. They liked the way he beat up criminals. Harvey Dent promised to keep those criminals put away and to make Gotham a better place. So Gordon and Batman did not want all of Gotham to immediately turn their back on Harvey, think he's evil, thinks he's a villain just like the Joker. And so they needed Batman to take the Joker down because who else could? But they needed people to remember that Harvey was a good guy. That's weird. It's a lie. But how do you explain both of those things at once to the public?
Well, yeah, no. I mean, I get that. But like, so all right. So Harvey they deserve Harvey, but they don't need him, or they deserve Batman, but they need Batman, but they don't deserve him.
Well, it was the other way around. Harvey was the hero that Gotham needed.
Yes.
He needed to be a hero, not a villain. Batman didn't need to be seen as a hero.
Yeah. No.
At this point.
I get that.
So he was the one they wanted?
But what does...
Because that's the opposite of what I said.
No.
So they wanted
deserved.
Batman. No. It was want and deserve.
Did they deserve... So what did Gotham deserve? What did Gotham deserve? I've been trying to figure this out for 12 years.
According to Gordon...
That's what I thought.
According to Gordon, Batman was the hero that Gotham deserved, but didn't need him right now.
Okay, so they deserved Batman. What does that mean? Like they suck?
I'm not sure.
They're evil? Like I've been trying to figure out what that actually means. That Gotham deserves Batman. What does that mean?
That doesn't make sense to me. What makes sense to me is that like to win the hearts and minds of Gothamites, they just they deserved Harvey Dent because he wanted to clean up the city the right way. They needed Batman because it needed to be done fast, and he doesn't have any rules.
Okay.
Harvey does.
Okay.
So
the system is so corrupted that Batman is the only effective way of solving the. In my mind, he's the only effective way because the system itself is so upside down with corruption that like the mob rules the justice system.
So they deserve someone like Harvey Dent to clean up their machine and get it back into people's hands. They needed Batman to do their dirty work.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
I think of it the other way around. But yes.
Sounds like that's the other way around too.
Because
that's the opposite of what Gordon said.
Yeah.
But he doesn't elaborate.
Is it so he said Harvey was what they needed and Batman's what they deserved?
Yes. That's what he said at it was interspersed between his kid and the funeral for Harvey.
Yes. So Harvey
deserved. So he says Harvey Dent was...
Well, I just want to figure it out.
He said Harvey...
Hey, go ahead.
Okay, no. So what he said was Harvey Dent was the hero Gotham needed, but not the hero it deserved. Is that what he said?
Is that what they said, Al?
Yes, that's the first thing he said at the funeral. At the funeral, he said Harvey was not the hero Gotham deserved, but he was the hero that Gotham needed.
Opposite what Thor just said.
No, that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
No. All right, deserved. Harvey, they deserved, but they didn't need him.
No. He said they needed him but not deserved him. That's what Gordon said.
I've been writing it down as soon as everyone has said something, and I now have 3 different variants.
No. What Commissioner Gordon said was they needed Harvey, but they didn't deserve him, right? Is that what you're telling us, Al?
That's what I'm saying. Because
I have that written down.
Because Harvey was basically too good for Gotham.
Or at least their understanding of Harvey was too good for Gotham. Harvey was not. He was a mess.
Right. But
I'm sorry that I had an explanation, because I have no explanation for that. It doesn't make any sense.
So there's.
You don't need to explain it again. I'm not a child.
No, I'm not trying to explain it to you. I'm trying to make it make sense.
That's not
in general.
Okay.
I'm not trying to explain anything to you,
we've said
particular
both,
Josh.
We've said both versions, and I don't think we can decide.
Well, I mean, okay.
Right.
I mean, yeah, but I think it's philosophical gobbledygook is what I think it is.
Yes, essentially. Well, and it is the great lie that they tell the people of Gotham that Two-Face was actually a hero. Harvey Dent was your hero. And we'll see that those chickens will come home to roost in the next movie.
Yeah.
Because he thought the people needed Harvey Dent.
Yeah, they both did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's neat. You just said needed.
Well, but okay. Yeah, but no, so I mean I 100% get what they're doing is, keeping Harvey Dent's image intact. I 100% get what they're doing. I think the phrase they use, which gets quoted and repeated so often, makes no fucking sense. I think the phrase itself is utter gibberish.
Well, and Batman's response is live long enough as the hero, you become the villain. I forget the exact quote, but yeah. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
You chose this. You chose to elevate Harvey Dent, who started killing cops and threatening to kill Gordon's wife and kids.
Well, yeah, it was all a choice. It was a deliberate plan. And in the third movie, he has a letter that lays it all out.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite,
Yeah.
Just talking about the distinction between those.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't matter.
It's not as neat and tidy as it could be. After this whole movie, it kind of ends on this what head scratch of a.
Well, yeah. I mean, some of us are saying it doesn't make sense, which I'm in that camp, and then others are saying that it does. So, it's for the ages, I guess. I guess that made sense.
Well, I mean, their plan makes sense.
Deserves and needs. It's real tough. I'm going to keep thinking about that. I don't know.
Well, okay.
There's a distinction there.
Yeah. So, all right. So, then Batman convinces Gordon to tell the public that he was the one behind Dent's killing spree in order to uphold Dent's public image. Dent's hailed as a hero. The police launch manhunt for Batman. Gordon destroys the bat signal. Fox watches as the sonar devices destruct. And Alfred Pennyworth burns the letter from Rachel. As Gordon does the whole thing in the voiceover. We end on Alfred burning the letter, and then we roll credits. And that's it. That's the Dark Knight.
The letter comes into big play in the next one. It's the catalyst for something we thought we'd never see.
Well, that's a different letter, right?
No. Well, there's no letter because he burned it. But he finally released there was a letter.
And there's a different letter. Yeah. Because that's the one where the letter that Rachel gave to Alfred was the one that said, I'm going to marry Harvey.
Yeah, I'm never going to marry you.
Yeah.
So he never gave Bruce closure. She died with Bruce thinking, if I had just accomplished what I wanted to beforehand.
But the letter in the third movie is Gordon's letter about
that's one in his pocket.
Yeah.
That's one in his pocket. On the stairs, Alfred reveals he held that from him, and Bruce fires Alfred and demands he gets out of the mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the movie. It's a hell of a movie. Yeah, I don't know. Overall thoughts, guys.
In the credits, there was a in memory of our friends Heath Ledger and Conway Wycliffe. Conway Wycliffe also passed away after the making of this. He was a special effects guy. I don't know how extensively he worked with Nolan, but he worked on. Okay, so he worked on Batman Begins and this movie. Some other notables were Casino Royale and V for Vendetta. The Tomb Raider movies and another Die Another Day, another Bond movie. Anyway, Conway Wycliffe, pour one out.
Yep, pour one out for Conway. Yeah, so I mean, this movie really, the legacy of this film is immense. It basically kicks this and Iron Man together basically kickstarted the modern superhero movie as we know it.
Yeah. This is better. This is one of the best sequels of all time.
Oh God, yeah, up there with Empire Strikes Back and
and Empire.
Aliens, yeah, absolutely. T2. Definitely up there. So, any final thoughts, guys, before we put it on the list?
Yeah. I mean, kind of a cat and mouse thing throughout the entire movie. It doesn't stop at any moment from being this misunderstanding between the Joker and Batman and also Gordon and Two-Face, Harvey Dent. Yeah. It's just interesting.
I think there was a foreshadowing of Catwoman to come when Bruce gets his new armor. He asks how it does against dogs because he had gotten bit earlier.
Yeah, and fine against Chihuahuas and Rottweilers.
No, what he says is should do fine against cats.
Well, and then should do fine against cats also, yeah.
Huh, that's interesting, yeah. I never thought of that.
Yeah, which we see. Razor sharp talons.
All right, so you guys ready to go ahead and put it on the list then?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right, let's see. So rankings, right now we have Iron Man at number 1. I think the only question is this number 1?
In my book, it is, but I'm malleable.
You're not made of iron.
No.
Alan, Brian, what do you guys think?
I want to say psychologically, yes.
As a comic book movie,
the Iron Man was more comic booky.
Yeah, it was more comic booky.
Maybe.
Is this a better movie than Iron Man? I think so.
Yes,
Iron Man was extremely satisfying as a comic book movie and just as a movie in general, I suppose. But
there was a lot of depth in this.
Yeah, there was. There was a lot
film
of depth. This movie was extremely well crafted in every possible way. I'm inclined to put it at number 1 personally. I mean,
I could go there.
Yeah.
All right. So then we are in agreement. We will put.
Oh no, we're not. I'm saying I should be number 1.
Oh, you should be number 1. Al, specifically, you should be number 1.
I could go there. Yes, I could. Yeah, put me there.
Okay, Al is our number 1 superhero movie. All right, The Dark Knight, our new best superhero movie ever made. Which means, now that we've ranked it, it's time to move on. Next week, we will be watching The Punisher Warzone. Will it replace The Dark Knight at number 1? Tune in next week to find out.
Stranger things have happened.
I have not seen The Punisher Warzones, but I've watched the trailer, so boy, it looks fun. All right, that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. This is Throw Smiley, and I'd like to remind you that I am your only hope for a normal life.
I'm Josh Cece, and I try to show the schemes how pathetic their attempts to control things really are.
I'm Brian Lesh, but you can call me the Burmese Bandit.
If I'm not getting shot at, I'm not doing my job right. I'm Alaric Weber.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks.